Hello, I know some of you, but welcome. Yeah, as Stan said, this is a unique situation. A little background about Dusobox is I'm third generation. My grandfather started in 1951, and our focus, or at least my focus, has been since the early 80s in bringing a high level of print to corrugated. And so the journey has been, interesting, to say the least. Like, for instance, we had the first chambered Dr. Blade machine that Ward ever made, and the first vacuum transfer machine they ever made. We've had a number of firsts, and one of these days I'm going to wake up and say I don't want to be the first to do it. But anyhow, but I think the importance of this is the partnerships we build. I mean, I look at print and corrugated as being just one part of it, and it takes the inputs of, depending on the process. And years ago I made it into a 35 millimeter slide. I called it the printer's pie. You had ink, you had plates, you had substrate, and you had a press. But each one individually didn't give you the output you needed. And then it was the people that made that pie and held all those things together. So, a bit of my philosophy. I got ahead of myself on the slide, but we started a project pre-COVID with our primary sheet supplier, Sustainable Corrugated in Dalton, Georgia. And actually they're part of Jackson Paper, and we were actually in discussions about doing a joint venture. And then that fateful March of 2020 came, and everything came to. So, in the meantime, the patriarch of that family got ill, died. Family was in negotiations with private equity to buy it out. They didn't know really what they had committed to the C500 press, but they really hadn't thought the whole thing through. And we're the largest customer in that press, and saying, well, this is not going to work. And so we, my director of pre-press and I put our heads together on how we're going to do this, and we wanted to do it in a very expeditious, least number of touches manner that we could bring. So we worked with Significans to develop a product and the whole front end automation. And it's not just one component. There are multiple components, as you all know, and how do we bring the highest quality digital reproduction to the customer? The offerings are there. There's different front ends, but I think the importance of color management and least number of touches is the most important part. We are a G7 master certified printer for color space, and we take that into the flexo side, we take it to the digital side, take it to the proofing side as well. The challenges that we had to solve with the process with a brand new technology, new to this environment. Truly, this was a sheet feeder. They had no idea what they're getting into when they got into print. But part of the criteria that we set up was, we had to be able to upload files. The pre-flighting had to be seamless. Minimize the number of touches. Online proofing was imperative. And then color management, the most critical part, and then deliverable. We approach the supplier, and just as we do our customers, very client-centric, and looking the path forward towards true sustainable growth. Like I said, we focus on our partnerships, and we provide customers with the highest level of print execution cut increasing execution. I think that's possible in our industry, and certainly in the Southeast United States. We're 2.5 hours from here. But our customer base is really national. I mean, and it's because of those execution levels that we have that bring us that type of opportunity. When we went to Significans and got the scope of the project put together, we knew it had to have different parts. The workflows, the color management, the in-position, all the integration of these components are brought into the integration part by Significans and the deliverable to ultimately sustainable print, the ultimate customer. We were involved in every part of that, but we were just sort of the expert witness behind the scenes to make sure Significance stayed on track to what they really need to do to be successful in this environment. And as you know, we had the in-focus switch pack for the pre-flighting proofing, the Julia Phoenix for imposition, GMG for color management, and we quickly were able to get sustainable G7 master certified as well. Since it's just been about a year, a little bit over a year, they've had an 8-fold reduction in pre-press staff requirements, including quicker turnaround times and smaller runs, all of which enhance the customer experience. I mean, the concept with sustainable is they're only selling to the trade. So they had major customers like us, and they had a customer that might buy $250,000 of print a year. The pre-flighting and proofing, again, fully automated. We can create the soft proofs. Everybody still wants to touch a proof, but in today's world and speed to market, that's not always possible, and we have a high level of confidence when we say we're submitting a soft proof, we're going to reproduce that. Randy Gilbert, who is the pre-press manager at Sustainable Print, this is a quote from him. And Randy is he's a multitasker. He's not only in charge of the pre-flighting, but he's in charge of what's running on the press, scheduling the press. I mean, but he's able to do it as a one-man show. And I think a lot of that is really about the integration that we've been able to help them with and put it in place. In short, these are real numbers. There's a 6-figure investment, and the deliverables that Significance brought to them really made dollars and cents in a real short ROI. Roland, who is my director of pre-press and workflow, background, some of you know him, may know him, but his entire life has been in pre-press. So he was stripping for horizontal cameras back in the day. He's worked on the software side for a number of suppliers. Stan, you've worked with him, hybrid and.
We haven't worked with him. Our paths have crossed.
Well, that's what it is.
Yes. Roland's a legend in the industry. Yeah, pre-press guys.
Roland, I call my hippie.
Yeah.
He's an amazing guy. I mean, he's his office at home. He's surrounded by keyboards, and that's what you see. And he'll get on. There was who was it? There was a basket. Wicker basket manufacturer in Ohio, real famous. But they had a grand piano in their lobby, and they were waiting to be seen when he worked for a commercial printer in Toledo, and he just started playing. All of a sudden, everybody starts coming out of offices, and so he's truly a talent of many talents. You know, as Roland said, to me on more than one occasion, this is probably one of the smoothest integration projects he's ever been involved in. So, I mean, hats off to, you know, Mark and the team in Significance.